all that housekeeping stuff out of the way, here is the real reason for our online training, and this is the part that I am really, really excited about. We have a new curriculum that we're going to be implementing into the nursery, and it's called Gospel Light Baby Beginnings. Before you think to yourself, curriculum, that means teaching, I signed on to do nursery so that I would not have to have any preparation, I can't do this. Before you start going through your list of things and making out your email to me about why you can't do nursery anymore, let me read something to you. This would be the answer to why we use curriculum and why we're getting ready to do what we're going to do. It says 3 stonemasons were asked what they were doing, and they replied as follows. Laying a stone, said the first. Making a wall, said the second. Building a cathedral, said the third. 3 Sunday school teachers were asked what they were doing. Babysitting these kids, said the first. Caring for the children, said the second. Sharing God's love, replied the third. That's why we're doing this, because we want to share God's love, and this helps give us direction in how to do that. Let me assure you, there is no preparation of anything, and all of you are watching this and went, whew, even if you didn't say that out loud, I know that you did. This is the coolest thing, and let me show you why. First of all, we have this book, and this is our leader's guide. So this is the book that I will use, and this is very cool because inside of it, and I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to see, they have already made up signs and different things, articles, and how to help better prepare the children. So throughout the year, you probably will receive some articles while you're in the nursery that you can peruse at your own leisure, and how to better take care of children, how to handle this situation or that situation, such as if a kid is biting, what do we do? I will have something to share with you about that. Also, it has some little signs that we can put on the door, signs to give parents, notes, things like that. As we are progressing and as our church family grows and we have more and more children, we may have the need to say, this is your coupon, please bring it back when you're ready to pick up your child. We're not at that point yet, but we will be, and this has everything that we need to do so that we can expand and do that. It also has a new CD, which I know some of you get really bored with some of the music that we have. So this is a new CD. We also have new posters that we will be putting up, and they will be changing monthly. I know you can't see the entire poster at the moment just because you can only see half of it because I haven't taken it out yet. This one, for example, goes in September. We will be starting this in September. The first Sunday in September is when we are starting this. Not that Wednesday, the Sunday. And the posters will be rotating monthly. Okay, these 2 books are for you, the leader. You're not going to find the books in the nursery, but you will find the information that you need. Each month, and I think this is really, really cool, they have, I'm going to find the page here, they have a devotional. So each month, for you, the leader, not for the kids, for the leader. So each month, you will find a devotional that's laid out for you that you can have, that you can read at your own time. Also, you will find activities to do with the kids. And when I say activities to do with the kids, I am talking about singing a particular song or a particular play activity that they can do. For example, September's is I See God's Love at Church. So all of the activities that are scheduled throughout that month are having to do with seeing God's love at church. One of the activities that you can do, I'm going to turn this around so I can see it, would be to build it out of wooden blocks. Slowly build a tower, describing what you're doing and counting each block. Knock down the tower or let child knock down the tower. Encourage the child to build the tower again. Basically, this is just giving you an activity to do with the child, instead of just letting them play and roam from toy to toy, try to do one activity. And I will tell you how this is going to play into our schedule in just a second. But each month you will find a devotional for you that you can take home or recycle, but you're going to find it investing in your spiritual life. So you're going to keep it and you're going to read it. And then you'll also find the guide as to what some activities are that you can do with the kids to help them play. You're also going to find this little flip book. The little flip book is organized by month, and it's something, the idea is that you could hang it on the wall. It does just sit, so it will be sitting on the counter and you can move it wherever. Just move it back to the counter. And this is supposed to be an idea of some other activities that you can do with the kids that they can visually look at. So I see God's love at church. I like to come to church. Psalms 122:1. And then it shows you different ideas of what you can do. This one would be for a baby, and it's called What a Kick. Place washable stuffed animals, your hands, or squeaky toys near a baby's feet for the baby to kick. Hold a pillow or soft toy above the baby's feet for the baby to kick. Say to them, God loves you and He made your legs. It's fun to kick and play. You play at home and you play when you go to church. Now I realize that when I read that to you, it sounds hokey and silly. The point of this book is not for you to read it word for word. The point of this is for you to flip through it, find an activity that you could do with a child, do that activity. It's probably something that you've already done before with your own kids when they were growing up, and that maybe you just forgot, oh yeah, that was something fun to do. It's a reminder of those kind of things. But then it's also just a reminder to say, hey, they're kicking. Now's an opportunity for me to tell them, you know, God made your feet. God made you to be able to kick your feet. We might be the only place in this child's life that they are ever going to hear the gospel or see the love of Christ ever. For some of them, they may come to church until they're 2 or 3, and then they fall off and they go someplace else and we don't get to see them again. So we want to make sure that we show that and we share that as much as possible. I understand that it can be a little frustrating because you may think, well, kids can't understand, they can't talk back to me, so they don't understand. Studies have been done that children as young as 6 months can learn sign language, and that they can sign back to you. They can begin to learn to sign back to you. If they can begin to learn sign language at that time, they can also learn and appreciate the little simple things of God made our legs, and I can kick my legs because God made them to do that. Here's how this is going to work on a regular nursery service. For every service, be it Sunday school, Sunday worship, or nursery, you're going to do the same thing or the same type of thing. We went through the schedule just a few minutes before. During that time where it says free play, the only time where this differs is on the Sunday morning schedule where it says story time. When it says story time, this would be the time to do the story. But sometime during those free play times, you're going to find one activity out of here to do. For example, we talked about the building of the blocks and talking about a tower and how God made the tower. That's one activity. If you do that activity on the paper that's provided for you, just mark it off that you've done that activity, and then the next person that comes in, when they're looking for activities to do, they can look and see, oh, well, we did that one. I think I'll do this one. Does it matter if you repeat an activity? No, it doesn't. But some people like to make sure that they do something that somebody else hasn't done. So just put a mark on it. That way we'll know what's been done and what hasn't been done. If you want to do something that somebody's already done, perfectly fine. Just pick an activity to do. The next thing that you're going to do during a free play time is choose an activity from the month out of the book and try to do that. In reality, well, in a perfect world, all of the children will be totally engaged and love this from start to finish and will be completely and totally engaged. The reality of the situation is that you may only be able to do this activity with one kid, you may do this activity with one kid, and you may read the story with one kid. But that's okay because you have accomplished a goal and you've spent quality time with each one of them. That would be the goal of the situation. If more of them want to participate, that's awesome. But if you only do this with one kid, and then show the story to one kid, that's perfectly fine. And you shouldn't feel frustrated, and there's no reason to try to herd them like cattle and make people cry and frustrated, but the schedule says we have to do it. No. There are going to be times where it's just not going to happen with all of them as a group, and that's fine. When it comes to story time, your picture is going to look like this. This is the September's one. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to read on the back what it says to you. So you would, with the kids, show them the picture. If you want to do it as a whole group, that's super if they'll sit down and do it. If you want to read it, show it to one kid, and then a little bit later you've got time and you want to show it to somebody else, that's acceptable too. These are plastic, so if somebody did put it in their mouth, the only concern would be a poking from the edge. But there's nothing on here that's going to hurt them, and they can't rip it. So if they do put it in their mouth, we just need to make sure that we wipe it off with like a baby wipe or some other thing to clean it when we're done. It says on the back, I see God's love at church. Your directions are talk about the picture on the front of the card using the tell it story and picture talk conversation suggestions. So picture talk, it tells you to ask, where's the baby? So you can point to the baby. His name is Jesus. As you point to Mary and Joseph, say, baby Jesus' mommy and daddy took him to church. Who loves baby Jesus? You would say his mommy and daddy. The people at church loved baby Jesus too. Baby Jesus had a happy time at church. The tell it portion says this. When Jesus was a baby, his parents brought him to church. People at church were glad to see baby Jesus. They talked to him. They smiled at him. They held him close. Jesus was happy to be at church. You can be happy at church because people show God's love to you here. On the Hear It section has your little memory verse kind of for the month, which is Psalm 122:1. I like to come to church. It has a little prayer section for you to be able to pray with the kids. It says, thank you, God, for the people at my church who love and care for me. And it even has a little section for you to play it. Help child build house and church outlines with blocks. Make a road with blocks from the house to the church. Give child a toy car to drive from the house to the church. Talk about things a child enjoys at church. I can see that you like to build with blocks. We have fun at church. Now I realize again that some of you may not want to read word for word off of the card, and that's fine. Put it in your own words and explain to the kids how we see God's love at church. If you have any questions over what I've said, over the schedule, over anything of the curriculum, send me a message or let me know. Come talk to me. Hopefully I've explained it and answered some of the questions that maybe you would have had develop, but if not, let me know. Your next step, now that you've watched this, is to either message me or to go to the We Worship window and sign your name on the clipboard that is there, where it says Training Sign In. Your code is this. My favorite dessert is called Cookie Casanova. So on the spot where it says answer, you need to write Cookie Casanova. Thanks and have a great day.